Heavenly manifestations. 3 divine symptoms revealed after the supermoon. 8 to 9 October 2025. Clara's heart raced as she read the headlines spread across the village bulletin. A supermoon, so bright and palpable, now graced their quiet home nestled in the rural hills of England. Some whispered it was a time for great change, a moment when the heavens opened and divine energies poured forth. A heaviness settled in her chest as her thoughts drifted to her family, their battles, the endless prayers, and the looming shadow of illness that weighed so heavily upon them. As the supermoon reached its zenith, Clara noticed a peculiar shift enveloping the village. The first miraculous symptom began to unfold at the church, a place she had sought comfort countless times. The air shimmered with an unexplainable peace. Residents who had come to grieve began to smile softly, finding solace amidst their pains. Sobs turned to whispers of hope, voices rising in fervent prayer like incense to the heavens. Like the peace that fell upon the weary shepherds in the night, a sense of warmth enveloped the congregation, softening hearts torn apart by despair. Then came the visions. Stories began swirling like leaves caught in a playful wind. One neighbor claimed to have seen an angel hovering beside her bed, whispering words of comfort when the night felt darkest. Others echoed her claims, recounting how shimmering beings had appeared, wrapping them in divine light and reassurance. Clara listened, her heart a blend of caution and curiosity. The line between yearning belief and skeptical doubt was becoming blurry. Was it truly divine intervention, or simply a shared illusion crafted by a weary mind? And then, the dreams, the final miracle that danced tantalizingly just beyond grasp. Families gathered to pray fervently, their hearts united in supplication. Clara heard from those once consumed by hopelessness, now dreaming vivid dreams of healing, miraculous recoveries that seemed impossible. Hope poured from their lips like honey during Sunday services. Each testimony burned brightly in her soul, igniting that flicker of belief she had tried so hard to hold on to. Yet, amidst the buoyancy, the question loomed. Could mere dreams alter their grim reality? Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Weeks passed, and Clara balanced on emotional tightrope, where prayer felt both like a sanctuary and a weight. As whispers of miracles mingled with her doubts, an enigmatic figure appeared in the village, a traveler with an air of mystery, proclaiming insights into the phenomena swirling around them. His presence sent ripples of unease through the church, raising eyebrows and splitting faith. Was he sent from heaven or hell? Clara felt a stir within. Could this stranger hold the key to their prayers? As Clara and her community wrestled with their conflicted faith, the church became a crucible of belief. Each prayer, every shared vision, a flicker of light against the encroaching darkness. Could they withstand the grip of doubt, or would the supermoon-esque glow reveal deeper truths? With her family's fate in the balance, Clara could feel the urgency mount. Could it be that hope and despair existed on a fragile thread, ready to break at any moment? And there, enveloped in prayer and uncertainty, she dared to believe that God's intervention might just be on the horizon, waiting to unveil the miraculous. The days that followed blurred together as Clara found herself lost in thought and contemplation. The traveler continued to wander through the village, his enigmatic smile a constant reminder of the unresolved questions that hung in the air. Each Sunday, he sat quietly in the back of the church, watching as the congregation came together, their fervent prayers rising like a humble offering. Clara felt drawn to him, yet the chill of mistrust wrapped around her heart like a frigid blanket. What wisdom did he truly possess? Did he understand their pain and longing for healing? With every tender prayer they raised, Clara sensed the burden of doubt clawing back at the faith she clung to so desperately. One evening, as twilight slipped gently into darkness, Clara took a long walk by the river that sparkled under the silver gaze of the supermoon. She reflected on the stories she had heard, the sightings of angels, the moments of clarity in dreams, and how they stitched a delicate tapestry of hope and expectation within her soul. Suddenly, she spotted the traveler seated on a stone by the riverbank, his gaze fixated on the water. Gathering her courage, she approached him, her footsteps soft against the ground. "Why do you come here?" she asked, feeling the weight of her heart's urgency in her voice. He turned to her with an expression that felt both gentle and knowing. "I come seeking divine whispers, Clara. The supermoon has cast a light upon your village, revealing the depths of your spirits. Do you believe it brings change?" she asked, desperation creeping in her tone. He smiled slightly, his eyes twinkling. "Change is but the breath of faith. Each prayer you make sends ripples into the heavens. The miracles you seek may already be unfolding in ways unseen." Clara absorbed his words, each syllable carving hope into her weary heart. "But doubt clouds our vision. It eats away at us," she confessed, her voice trembling. Every doubt felt like a heavy stone nestled deep within her, begging for release. He nodded thoughtfully. "Doubt every so often leads us to the brink, doesn't it? Yet remember, faith is not without its questions. It thrives within the uncertainty. You see, even the most radiant light is birthed from darkness. The supermoon offers clarity, if only you would choose to see." With that, he stood, offering her a warm smile before walking away, leaving Clara stranded in a sea of contemplation. The golden glow of the supermoon enveloped her as she stood by the river, swallowed by thoughts. Was she ready to embrace the uncertainty? Could she weave her prayers into the tapestry of change meant for her family? Days turned into nights filled with fervent prayers, and Clara took comfort in witnessing the villagers slowly coalesce around her. Whatever the traveler had ignited within her blossomed, not only for herself, but for all hurting souls bound by shared hope. She began to see glimmers of strength amongst her neighbors, a collective force nurtured by faith, fearless in its questioning and fervently united in prayer. Yet deep down, another thought tugged at her heart. What awaited them in the depths of those prayers? Could the power of belief truly create paths through despair? She found her resolve shaking, a fragile thing still woven through love and yearning, as the evening of the next worship service approached. That night, as Clara prepared herself to face her community, one question lingered above all. What if the supermoon was the beginning of something miraculous, waiting to break through their struggles? The rivalry between doubt and faith tightened within her chest as she stepped toward the church, her heart racing with possibility and fear. And as the door creaked open, Clara knew something awaited her on the other side, a revelation from the heavens, maybe even the answer to their prayers. What they would discover together could change everything. As Clara stepped inside the church, the familiar scent of polished wood and candle wax enveloped her like an embrace. The congregation was already gathered, their faces a tapestry of hope and weariness. A hushed anticipation filled the room, the air thick with unspoken prayers. Clara's heart swelled as she felt the weight of community upon her shoulders. She made her way to the front, her eyes briefly meeting those of the travelers who had come, mingling with the villagers. They wore expressions of earnest expectation, as if they too felt the stirring of something divine among them. She could see in their eyes the duality of faith and doubt, each heartbeat echoing the uncharted territory that lay ahead. As the service began, Clara took her place among her fellow worshippers. The elder, with his weathered hands clasped together, started the gathering with a prayer, imploring the heavens for guidance. The words flowed like a gentle river, washing over Clara as she bowed her head. "Lord, reveal your presence to us tonight. Guide us through our doubts, and spark the flames of faith." His voice was strong yet tender, resonating deeply within the hearts of all present. Clara felt something shift in the atmosphere, a heavenly whisper echoing through her spirit. And then it happened. As the rising notes of hymns filled the sanctuary, a soft glow emanated from the stained glass windows. The colors danced and flickered, casting radiant patterns upon the congregation. It felt as though the very light of heaven poured forth to meet their cries. Clara gasped softly, glancing at the traveler who sat towards the back. His expression remained calm, almost knowing, suggesting he too recognized the divine moment unfolding. In that instant, a ripple of energy surged through the congregation. Faces turned upwards, hope ignited in their eyes, as if each heart was reaching toward the light. Clara felt an inexplicable peace wash over her, a reassurance that they were not alone, that their prayers were being woven into a grand tapestry. "Pray with me," the elder urged, his voice rising above the music and murmurs. "For every heart that weighs heavy with doubt, let us speak into the silence. For every burden that stands in the way of light, let us lift it together." Clara's voice joined with the growing chorus. Words tumbled from her lips, spilling forth as if they had been bottled up within her for ages. She prayed not only for her family, but for every soul in the pews. She prayed for restoration, for healing, for the miraculous change they so desperately sought. With each word, her heart soared higher, mingling with the fervor around her. Suddenly, as if in response, a warm breeze twisted through the church. It brushed against Clara's cheeks and tousled her hair. She opened her eyes, looking around as a wave of murmurs filled the space. "Did you feel that?" a woman beside her whispered, her eyes glistening. The congregation was abuzz, hearts beating faster as they shared in this newfound energy. Clara nodded, her heart pounding with recognition. This was more than mere emotion. It felt like a touch of something sacred, a divine invitation to believe in the extraordinary. As the evening wore on, Clara felt a pull within her, a yearning for the deeper revelations the traveler hinted at. What lay just beyond their prayers? The thought clung to her, a burning question that demanded an answer. Could this be the unfurling of a divine plan, one that would transform their lives? Was the supermoon merely a prelude to their awakening? She glanced back at the traveler as he rose to leave, his enigmatic smile still warm. Clara felt an instinctive draw to him, as if he were the key to unlocking the answers waiting in the shadows of their faith. "Wait," she called, her heart racing. But as she stepped forward, she felt the weight of the congregation closing around her, their shared hopes and dreams intertwining. There was so much more to be revealed, and Clara sensed that whatever unfolded next would challenge every doubt, every limit they had placed upon their lives. What awaited them on the other side of belief? Would they find the courage to embrace the extraordinary? With each passing moment, she felt the sacred mystery unfolding before her, a blossoming garden of faith and revelation yet to be plucked. Clara's heart raced as she stepped through the congregation, her mind swirling with the profound atmosphere that surrounded her. She longed for understanding, for insight into the invisible threads binding them all together in this sacred moment. The air crackled with electricity, as if the heavens themselves had cracked open. As she approached the traveler, his presence seemed to draw the air closer, amplifying her curiosity. His eyes, deep and knowing, sparkled like the stars she had glimpsed through the stained glass. Clara could hardly contain her excitement, the whispers of her heart urging her to dig deeper. "Excuse me, can I speak with you?" She took a chance, her voice steady, though a flutter of nerves danced within her. The traveler turned, as if he had been waiting for her to ask. He gestured towards a quiet corner of the church, away from the bustle of the gathering. Clara followed him, her pulse racing with anticipation, each footstep echoing in her ears. "What did you feel tonight?" the traveler asked, his tone gentle yet probing. Clara paused, searching for the right words. It felt like the heavens opened up. There was a warmth, a peace. "I could almost touch it," She drew in a breath, her eyes sparkling with emotion. What is it? What are we being invited to see? The traveler smiled softly, as if he grasped the depth of her longing. You are awakening to the divine currents flowing through every heart here. It starts with belief, but it goes deeper. He looked over his shoulder at the congregation, bathed in ethereal light. This gathering is not just about prayers. It's a pivotal moment on your journey, a divine alignment. You must choose to embrace it. Clara felt the weight of those words settle in her soul, each one resonating. It spoke to the truth, lurking within her. Something greater was indeed at play. In her heart, she yearned for clarity, aware that the future hinged on the decisions made now. What if we fail to see it? She whispered, fear creeping in with the thought. What if we miss the sign? The traveler regarded her thoughtfully for a moment. Fear is a veil. It can blind you. But faith is a lens. It reveals what the heart seeks. Remember, the extraordinary often lies hidden in the mundane. As he spoke, a warm glow radiated from the stained glass, growing brighter. Clara gasped, her eyes widening as the play of colors seemed to dance alive, swirling like flames. It felt as if the church itself was breathing, and within it, a call to action reverberated. A young child broke through the throng, stumbling with joy. Look, the light. It's magic. The laughter was contagious, sending ripples of delight through the crowd, and Clara couldn't help but smile. See? The traveler encouraged, his voice steady. Even a child can sense the divine mystery here. They remind us that faith requires simplicity, a willingness to receive what is gifted. Clara felt the truth of his words sink, and hope fluttered within her like the wings of a butterfly. She realized that every person gathered, every prayer spoken, was part of a larger tapestry. It was woven with threads of their stories, doubts, and dreams, each contributing to the beauty that unfolded before them. Will we really uncover the answers? Clara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The traveler nodded knowingly. The journey is ahead. Tonight is just the spark. You and the community must step forward and be brave. As the service continued, Clara turned back to the congregation. Their faces radiated anticipation. Eyes shone with an unspoken language of belief. In that moment, she felt a surge of courage well up within her. She could pave the path forward. What awaited them when they delved deeper into their faith? Would the journey transform their lives in ways they could only begin to imagine? Just then, the elder raised his arms, beckoning them to form a circle, a gesture of unity that sent a thrill through Clara. They were called together, hearts open wide, ready for whatever divine mysteries lay ahead. As the circle formed, Clara could feel the energy shifting, becoming thicker with anticipation. One by one, each person joined hands, creating a chain of connection, a living symbol of their collective faith. The elder's presence loomed large before them, a humble but sturdy anchor among the swirling emotions. His gray hair reflected the warm glow, his voice calm yet powerful, beckoning them into a deeper space of trust. Tonight, he began, his words soft yet resonant as they drifted through the gathering. We stand on sacred ground, a place not just of worship, but of awakening. An invitation to step into the unknown together. Each syllable pulled Clara a little closer to the heart of that unknown. Her gaze drifted around the faces illuminated in that vibrant light. She could see a mix of emotions mirrored in their eyes. Hope, fear, excitement, and curiosity twinkled like stars against the night sky. As she squeezed the hand of the woman next to her, Clara felt warmth radiating not just from flesh, but from spirit. They were more than just individuals. They were a community, a body drawn by a divine calling. Let's open our hearts and allow the Spirit to speak, the elder encouraged. He lifted his hands higher, the gestures sweeping like a gentle wave. In this circle, we release our burdens. We share our fears, and we seek light for our paths ahead. Clara closed her eyes, breathing deeply. Words of the traveler's wisdom echoed in her mind. The extraordinary often lies hidden in the mundane. She opened her heart, allowing quiet prayers to ascend like smoke, and the burden she carried began to lighten. In that sacred moment, the world around her slipped away, and all that existed was the pure lilt of faith. Someone began to sing softly, a simple melody about grace and belonging. Clara joined in, her voice mingling with the others. As the melody rose, so did her spirit, each note adding to her sense of belonging. That was when she felt the unmistakable stir of something greater. It started as a gentle warmth at her core, like sunlight streaming through tree branches, then blossomed outward. A flicker of the divine, perhaps? She couldn't quite name it, but she let it wash over her. Suddenly, the light from a stained glass burst into brilliant shards, filling the church with a haze of colors: reds, blues, and greens, as if the heavens were pouring themselves out in celebration. Gasps erupted, punctuating the air like fireworks, and Clara's heart soared. "See how the heavens respond to our gathering," the elder exclaimed, excitement weaving through his voice. Eyes widened as the colors danced, and for the first time, Clara realized what it meant to experience divine presence. Could it be that their simple act of unity had opened the gates to something wondrous? In unison, the congregation began to rise, surrendering their hearts and voices to the unfolding mystery. Clara, fueled by newfound courage, began to share her own prayer aloud, filled with anticipation and wonder. As she spoke, the air shimmered, a fine mist swirling around them. "God, reveal your truth to us. Illuminate the path we must follow." The moment became electric, palpable with divine energy. Others joined her, each voice forming a chorus of yearning and hope, a symphony echoing within the walls of the sacred space. With every shared word, it felt as if their faith was drawing down blessings from heaven, weaving a connection that transcended the earthly plane. But what would unfold in response to their prayers? As the light pulsed and whispered tales of promise, Clara's heart thudded. She sensed they were on the brink of revelation, yet a deeper question lingered in the air as the light grew ever brighter. Would they be ready for what was coming next? The colors continued to swirl, transforming into a dance of radiant light that seemed to guide their very spirits upward. Clara felt the electric charge in the air, as if it was alive, threading through the hand she held, connecting each heart in a shared yearning for something greater. "Can you sense it?" A voice broke through the choir of prayer, soft yet vibrant, a young man with tears shimmering in his eyes. "Something is happening. The clouds are parting." Everyone strained to witness that celestial shift. Clara opened her eyes, allowing sight to mingle with her faith. A brilliant beam broke through the stained glass, illuminating swathes of the congregation like the touch of heaven itself. It felt tangible, not just a feeling but an experience shared. Deeper than any ordinary encounter, this was a beckoning, a promise. The elder looked around with reverent satisfaction. "Do not fear what you might see. Embrace the light. Embrace the unknown." His words echoed profoundly, resonating within Clara's heart. He raised his voice again, calling forth the divine presence they had all craved. "Tonight, we invite the heavenly to touch our earthly souls. Let your vulnerabilities rise. Let your burdens known." Clara felt herself swaying, almost dancing, as her prayer transformed into praise. An unexpected wave gushed over her, a swell of joy that broke down barriers she had carried for so long. She felt lighter, more alive. Her heart was woven tighter with the others, a tapestry of longing and faith. The light began to pulse rhythmically, each beat in sync with their collective hopes. Murmurs of awe coursed around the circle, faces tilted upward, eyes wide. Clara caught a glimpse of an elderly woman, her wrinkled hands clasped tightly as tears cascaded down her cheeks. They spoke a language unspoken of trials, losses, and the sweetness of faith renewed. Suddenly, from the deepest corner of the sanctuary, a laugh erupted, ringing pure like silver bells. It was a sound that carried hope. "I can feel you, God. I can feel you among us." With that simple declaration, A wave of affirmation surged through the gathering, lighting up the room even more. Praise him. Another voice chimed in, harmonizing with the laughter. The melody transformed again, growing joyful and playful. Soon, Clara found herself swept into the chorus, each voice lifting higher with abandon and wonder. Let the light guide us. They sang, a vibrant declaration of shared hope. As Clara surrendered to the jubilant atmosphere, she realized this was no ordinary moment. The air crackled with possibilities, the very essence of the divine laid bare. She thought of the earthly tasks ahead and felt a growing assurance. Whatever lay before them would be met with courage and grace. But then, as if summoned by the collective breath of the congregation, a sudden hush fell over them. The flickering light stilled, and Clara felt a weightiness in the atmosphere. It was as if destiny was drawing near, pivotal truths and life-changing moments coiling just beyond their reach. Stay faithful, dear hearts, the elder spoke again, his voice now a gentle whisper echoing vulnerability. The light shines brightest before revelation, leading you into a season of transformation. What transformations awaited them? Clara's heart raced with both excitement and trepidation. She knew that whatever the answer, it would demand their fullest devotion. And could their faith truly withstand the weight of that divine experience? As silence enveloped them, the question echoed in Clara's mind once more. What would they uncover, together, in that sacred presence? Clara held her breath as the silence enveloped them, each second stretching on as if the very fabric of time had paused. The light flickered once, a hesitant heartbeat, and Clara's heart echoed that same rhythm of waiting. In that moment, it seemed all of heaven was holding its breath, too. The elder raised his hands, palms upward, welcoming the invisible but profoundly felt presence. Breathe in the faith, he urged gently. Let it fill you. As the words slipped from his lips, Clara found herself drawing in a deep breath, as if inhaling the very essence of his faith. The light began to shimmer again, this time spinning slowly, wrapping around the sanctuary like an embrace. Clara closed her eyes once more. She became attuned to the symphony of whispers around her, soft prayers mingling with the pulse of the divine. She sensed more than just the congregation. She felt their hopes entwined with hers, a tapestry woven with dreams of healing and redemption, a collective fabric of sacred longing. Then, with a sudden surge, the light expanded outward, bathing every face in its warm glow. Clara gasped as she opened her eyes, her vision overwhelmed by the brilliance. People around her seemed to glow, each individual a beacon of light, drawing closer to the center of that divine manifestation. Look at your neighbor, the elder encouraged. See the light of Christ in them. As Clara turned to the woman beside her, she felt an electric spark, something different than before. It was a sacred connection. They exchanged glances, both of them smiling through tear-filled eyes. In that simple moment, the unspoken thoughts of their hearts merged. Clara realized she wasn't alone in her struggles. Everyone bore their burdens, yet together they glowed. I see you. The young man from before cried out again, his voice trembling with passion. I can see the hope within you. You are not just shadows, you are filled with light. His shout stirred a wave of affirmations throughout the room. We are filled with his glory. Came another voice, stronger now. Clara felt emboldened by those words. Then, the air shifted again, thickening with expectation. An electric anticipation filled the space, like the air before a storm, yet infinitely sweeter. The elder's voice rang out, filled with authority. Tonight, dear friends, we are to witness a glimpse of what awaits. The transformations are beginning. Clara felt weightless, blissfully lost in the moment, but curiosity gnawed at her. What transformations? Would they heal a heart? Revive a dream? She could hardly fathom the possibilities, yet she felt propelled forward, right on the edge of something incredible. Suddenly, someone shouted from the back, breaking the moment's reverence. Pray for the sick. Pray for the lost. The call was met with enthusiastic nods and hearts beating in unity. Clara felt a sudden surge of boldness rise within her. Yes, let's lift each other in prayer, she echoed, her voice rising above the murmur. A spirit of urgency swept through the gathering as they began to call out names: sick ones, broken hearts, loved ones lost. Each plea echoed like a song, weaving through the sacred air. Clara felt a warmth spread through her chest as love filled the room. The elder gestured for everyone to hold hands once more. Let us pray for supernatural healing and divine intervention among us. The collective faith surged, lifting higher still. Clara felt it deeply. As they prayed passionately, the light above them erupted into dazzling colors, spinning faster and brighter, encompassing them in a divine whirlwind. Hearts raced and breaths quickened. This was bigger than anything they had experienced. Their prayers and hopes merged into a crescendo, and Clara knew with a stirring clarity a truth was unfurling in this sacred moment, pointing toward revelations yet to come. Yet as they gathered strength in prayer and faith, Clara couldn't shake the feeling that something else was burgeoning beneath the surface, a mystery lying in wait what would be revealed, and how would it shake the very foundation of their lives? Would their courage be enough to meet it? The vibrant colors of light began to pulsate, wrapping the congregation in a kaleidoscope of hope and divine love. Clara felt her heart racing, beads of anticipation forming on her brow as they held hands, an unbreakable chain of faith binding their hearts together. The elder's voice resonated like a drum, steady and sure, grounding everyone in the rising tide of prayer. Let us remember the promise of healing. He spoke, his voice tinged with fervor. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he is among us. The truth of those words rippled through Clara, flooding her with warmth. She breathed deeply, exhaling her fears into the illuminating air. Each breath became a prayer, lifting her spirit higher. The fragrance of candled incense and the distant echo of hymns wrapped around her like a comforting shawl, weaving their shared devotion into a sacred tapestry that filled the very air. As they carried on praying, Clara noticed the woman beside her squeezing her hand tighter. "Do you feel it?" she whispered with wide eyes, all reflecting in her gaze. "It's as if something is about to break through." Clara nodded, unable to find any words. Instead, she allowed her heart to resonate with the promise of change. In that instant, she glimpsed something magnificent. It was as if a door inside her soul cracked open, allowing a sliver of divine light to pour in. It was more than a thought. It was a knowing, a deep assurance that all they were praying for was not in vain. The cries grew louder, voices rising in fervor, creating a symphony of desperation and hope. "Heal my mother!" someone yelled. "Save my brother!" Another cried out, and Clara joined in, her own voice booming above the din. "Lord, we trust in your perfect miracle." Suddenly, the atmosphere thickened, and a mighty wind rushed through the sanctuary, swirling among them like a living being. Clara felt an unexpected joy bubbling up within her, a joy that bypassed her understanding, a joy laden with God's promise. Laughter erupted from the corners of the hall, mingling with tears as eyes brightened with astonishment. A wave of euphoria, uncontainable and real. Then it happened. The center light pulsed in rhythm with their prayers, and before their astonished eyes, figures began to emerge from the light. Clara squinted, tried to see past the brilliance, and felt her breath hitch. Was this truly happening? From the pure radiance stepped a figure, cloaked in glory. It wasn't he, just the elder, nor any familiar face. This was someone from beyond, a messenger of the divine, eyes like deep wells of compassion. The crowd gasped in unison, jaws dropping as the tangible presence of heaven flooded the room. "Fear not, for I bring messages of hope," the figure spoke, voice like thunder wrapped in velvet. "The healing you seek is near. Heaven is opening its floodgates upon you. Believe, have faith." Clara's heart soared. The reality of their prayers was converging into something palpable. How often had she heard of the miraculous? Yet to be witnessing it now, an electric thrill coursed through her, urging her to dare greater leaps of faith within the sea of others who longed for transformation. Then came a voice rising above the rest, echoing through Clara's mind, "You shall see the glory of the Lord." It wasn't just a message. It felt like a promise born out of a warm embrace. Clara's heart danced within her chest. But even among this radiance, a question whispered to her soul. Amid the wonder and awe, an unsettling thought rolled through. What if not everyone was ready for what was unfolding? What if they weren't prepared for the true transformation this divine encounter demanded? As Clara battled the fears surging forward, she gazed into the light, searching for answers, feeling on the edge of the divine mystery. What awaited them on the other side of this revelation? What invitations would they have to accept, and would they have the courage to step forward? In that moment, the kaleidoscope of prayer and light swirled fiercely around her, each heartbeat synchronic with the divine rhythm, unveiling an urgent call to transformation. The luminous figure stood firm, radiating serenity and strength, each word woven with sacred intent. The vibrations in Clara's chest settled as she leaned into the voice that cut through the air like a blade of truth. "You must be bold. The time for change is now. Embrace the transformation that is upon you." Clara's eyes widened at the prophetic words. They felt like tendrils of light reaching deep into her being, awakening something that had been dormant for too long. Around her, hands continued to clench, some raised in reverence, others trembling with anticipation. The atmosphere thickened with potential, as if the very fibers of the air vibrated with the energies of heaven itself. "Can you hear the call?" Clara whispered to the woman beside her, who simply nodded, tears slipping down her cheeks, a reflection of the extreme emotions igniting every heart. It was in this shared sorrow and hope that Clara found her courage, the fear of the unknown slipping away like sand through fingers. As the messenger raised a hand towards the congregation, a cascade of light flowed down, illuminating the faces of the gathered. "Do not doubt the power of your intent. For every prayer lifted, every voice joined, creates a river of healing," he declared, the warmth of his message igniting faith anew. The chorus of prayers echoed even louder as Clara felt her heart synchronize with the universal pulse of longing and faith around her. "Let this moment mark the beginning," she cried, her voice rising in unison with dozens of others, a collective declaration shaking the very foundation of their reality. They were no longer individuals. They were a living testament to hope. Suddenly, Clara felt an unexpected surge, as if an unseen force pressed against her. A warmth blossomed in her chest, spreading like ripples through water. She looked down, astonished. The light gathered not only around them, but also within herself, a powerful knot of energy expanding, a sacred wholeness knocking at the door of her spirit. "Something is happening," Clara gasped, looking at the woman beside her, whose face mirrored her own astonishment. The revelatory moment deepened, yet she couldn't shake the lingering question that gnawed at her heart. What would they be called to release? What burdens would they need to let go of? The urgency to discover the truth gnawed at Clara. She felt a mingling of excitement and fear, a battle brewing between what she had known and what was about to unfold. The messenger's voice broke through her thoughts, deepening the atmosphere. "Reach out, let go of your chains. Embrace what is being offered. Renewal, reconciliation, resurrection." At that moment, her thoughts drifted to the unanswered prayers from earlier. How could they be renewed without first confronting what held them back? The whispers of doubt danced through her mind, but they were met with the warmth of love in her heart, offering the strength to cast aside fears. Clara knew that the invitation was to reveal their true selves, to break from the past. As she stood in the embrace of this divine moment, a truth dawned upon her: each soul present was on a unique journey. Every miracle birthed in breath, noticeable through deep faith that awakened courage. Clara inhaled deeply, allowing the energy around her to wrap around her heart. The ministerial figure fixed his gaze on her, as if reading her struggle, and smiled. Your journey, dear child, is a beautiful mosaic crafted uniquely by your Maker. Embrace every shadow, every light within. Only when you accept all will you find your truest self. Clara felt her spirit deepen, the questions swirling around, turning into a sacred inquiry. What fragments of her past would she choose to embrace? And would she have the courage to step fully into the light of this transformation? As she contemplated these questions, the light intensified once more, brightening to a near royal brilliance. The presence of the messenger radiated warmth, seeping into the marrow of her bones and igniting a flicker of hope. What awaited her beyond this moment? Would she dare to open the door to true healing? The room sighed with collective anticipation, and the weight of prayer enveloped them all. In all this beauty and chaos, Clara sensed the true invitation lay ahead. Would they collectively seize the moment and transform under the weight of divine grace? Would they journey together into unknown territories where miracles awaited? The air crackled with potential as she stood at the precipice of change, ready to leap. As the light pulsed with divine energy, Clara felt its warmth radiate through her entire being. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation, like the moment before the first light of dawn breaks through the darkness. She could hear the collective heartbeat of the congregation around her, a chorus of souls yearning for transformation. It was as if the divine messenger and the supermoon were conspiring to invite them all into a new chapter of faith. Brothers and sisters, the elder's voice echoed softly, yet there was a steadiness that held them all in this sacred space. This supermoon is not just a celestial event. It is a divine signal. God desires to meet you, to heal you, and to awaken your spirits. Clara's heart trembled at those words. For too long, they had wallowed in doubt and despair. Yet now they stood on the brink of something extraordinary. What if they embraced this moment wholly? What if they allowed faith to lead them forward, into the arms of the Creator who longed to renew them? As Clara glanced around, she saw her neighbors, each face illuminated with a radiance born from hope and vulnerability. Tears glistened on cheeks, laughter burst forth from lips, and hands were raised in an offering of praise. They were no longer burdened by their individual struggles. They had become a living testament to transformation, a vibrant community bathed in divine light. Release your past, the messenger urged, his voice imbued with an authority that rang clear. Present to God your fears, your disappointment, every weight that haunts your heart. Shed your chains, for resurrection awaits. With every word, Clara felt chains breaking within her. The fears of loss, illness, and doubt that had shackled her spirit began to dissolve into nothingness. She knew in that moment she had a choice to let love in, to believe in the miracles that unfolded before her. Let us lift our voices in one final prayer, the elder instructed. Together, united in faith, we shall call forth the goodness and mercy that has awaited us. Together, Clara shouted, and the cry resonated throughout the congregation, igniting a fire of conviction. Like a rising tide, their voices surged calls for healing, and strength flowed from their lips, vibrant and uncontainable. As they prayed, Clara's spirit soared. She saw a vision, a sweeping landscape of bright flowers flourishing under the moonlight. Joy, laughter, and healing spread like vines tangled in the air around them. She understood deep within this was the rebirth so many had longed for. Before her eyes, the boundaries of doubt faded away, and in their place, a future blossomed, one bound tightly to faith. Then, silence enveloped the room once more, but it was a holy silence, one that cradled their hopes and dreams like a cherished secret. Clara felt the messenger's gaze upon her, penetrating her soul as though he could read every longing, every shadow. Know this, he spoke gently. Divine change is not for the faint-hearted. It requires a commitment to walk in faith beyond the confines of the familiar. Choose to release your burdens and step fully into the light of His grace. At once, Clara's heart resonated with understanding. She did not have to carry the weight alone. They had each other. And with renewed fervor, she envisioned her loved ones healed. Her family, once so consumed by sickness, would rise a testament to what faith could accomplish. Clara squeezed the hands of those beside her, a silent promise of unity bound by unbreakable threads of hope. In that single gesture, she felt their collective strength, elevating everyone present to embrace the transformative power of Goddess love. As the moment hung suspended in the air, the light around them flickered and surged. The messenger lifted his arms high, and suddenly the congregation erupted in joyous shouts of praise, unleashing their collective faith like fireworks that lit up the night sky. Clara, too, joined in, laughter and tears weaving together in a tapestry of deliverance. "I believe," she shouted, voice mingling with the swell of others. "I believe in miracles." The brilliance in the church intensified, and Clara felt a glorious wave wash over her. Every prayer offered, every doubt released, swirled into the heavenly tapestry above. From that moment, she knew with all her heart the love of God had woven them into a living miracle, binding them in purpose, lifting them beyond their struggles into realms of divine possibility. In that sacred space, as the colors of the supermoon shimmered outside, Clara surrendered, casting her fears aside to embrace the light of transformation. Together, they stepped into the unknown, bolstered by a faith that could conquer anything. They were not merely a congregation. They had become a family, a celebration of hope born anew, and as they continued to praise and pray, destiny unfolded around them like the petals of a blossoming flower, each soul ready to embrace the change that awaited beyond the horizon. Now is the moment for you to take action. Don't wait any longer. Subscribe immediately to our channel so you don't miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread this message. Comment your thoughts and testimonies about this ending. Your voice matters. And don't hesitate to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to experience this divine manifestation. Only true servants of God understand the importance of supporting our mission. Put your faith into action today.